Since then, an incident command post and campground have been set up to accommodate the people working to fight the blaze.
They did not want to appear on camera, but told us they believe the cops sometimes go too far.
It was the largest fire our country had seen in nearly 90 years,
including fire-resistant clothing, gloves, a hard hat, and a fire shelter like this one.
Well, kids love it. It helps Eagle Mountain serve those with disabilities, and now you can lend a hand.
And of course, the farmers market wouldn't be a farmers market without tons of fresh produce.
Sift through the rubble looking for anything like this that survived the fire.
Riding your bike through town, are you careful?
I am very careful. But then my big rear end is, it's not a problem.
We see him coming.
So I still can't believe you think the most amazing part about that snowstorm was it didn't get below 32. To me, the most amazing thing was it was 32 degrees in August.
Yeah. This installation is actually the finale for Lila. She's been here for days.
You can see the place is packed. There's not a space in sight. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm Judy Slate. Donna Kelly has the night off. Our top story, 3 women are behind bars charged with promoting prostitution after a bust at 2 Belgrade spas. Our Erin Schattauer was in court earlier today. Appearing with the help, preliminary hearings for the women are set for August 16th. An update now on wildfires burning in southwest Montana. Today's weather cooperated for firefighters battling the Firestone Flats fire near Arley. They were able to conduct burnout operations to keep the fire from spreading. MTN's Irina Cates went on the fire line this afternoon, and she has more on the fire crew's efforts as they work to contain the blaze.
The
The fire is now 40% contained. Fire crews are starting to make headway on the Moose Meadows fire near Phillipsburg, and the weather is a worry. As of tonight, the fire is 10% contained. The lightning-caused fire has burned 3,000 acres near Phillipsburg. The weather forecast for Wednesday calls for increased cloud cover as new cold fronts move through the area. These fronts are expected to bring unstable air, minimal moisture, and the possibility of lightning and gusts of wind of up to 45 miles an hour. These weather conditions could slow firefighters' progress. Another big fire to tell you about, this one in Idaho. Fire officials say the Gold Pan fire, burning just 35 miles southwest of Darby, has burned more than 13,000 acres. And some wetter, cooler weather could be heading our way. That's what I hear. Following former Governor Brian Schweitzer's surprising decision not to run for an open Senate seat next year in Montana, another high-profile Democrat from the state declines to jump into the race. Stephanie Shriak, the president of Emily's List, a group that works to get Democratic women elected to public office, announced today she will not run for the Senate in 2014. Shriak was one of a few Democratic names floating around after Schweitzer, the would-be Democratic frontrunner, decided not to go forward with a campaign bid earlier this month. Democrats are talking to other people in the state, including Montana Supreme Court Justice Brian Morris and Montana Public Schools Superintendent Denise Juneau. A hearing today on Capitol Hill for Senator Max Baucus's Rocky Mountain Front Heritage Act. The bill designates more than 200,000 acres as a conservation management area and adds more than 65,000 acres to the Bob Marshall Wilderness Complex. Now, getting this legislation passed is a top priority for Baucus as he nears retirement.
This is not a top-down bill.
Some Montanans who live near the front are opposed to the bill. Jim Anderson, owner of Grizzly Sports in Choteau, Montana, sees the bill as government overreach. The Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee is expected to vote on the Heritage Act later this fall. And Senator Tester's Forest Jobs and Recreation Act also received a hearing before the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Subcommittee today. The bill mandates logging in 3 national forests in Montana: the Beaverhead Deer Lodge, the Kootenai, and Lolo. It also designates more than 650,000 acres as wilderness in each of those districts. The entire Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee is expected to vote on this bill soon. Montana State University is doing research on using fungus combined with agricultural waste to create diesel fuel. MSU researcher Dr. Gary Strobel has found that when agricultural waste is exposed to certain fungi, hydrocarbons are created, a key component in diesel fuel. While Strobel believes this is a big step to helping create green fuel, he adds that there is still quite a bit of work to be done.
And that's tough.
The Sweet Pea Festival is almost here, and artists are using the sidewalks on Main Street to spread the word.
Just a chance for everybody to sort of be artsy.
Chalk on the Walk kicks off the Sweet Pea Festival every year. Today, kids and adults got their hands dirty, showing off their art skills. Buckets of chalk were set out on Main Street, and the sidewalks are now showing every color of the rainbow. People drew everything from Sweet Pea logos to Ninja Turtles and funky designs. One artist says it's a great way to get people excited about the festival. The Sweet Pea Festival officially starts at 4 on Friday and runs through Sunday evening. Still ahead, see how the Manhattan football program is moving forward.
That's the house. Was the house.
Paul Hurtgen gives a tour of what used to be his home.
And I had another smaller model railroad set over on this side. So that's all gone. That was stuff that I'd collected from I was about 12. I'm 72 now.
Paul and his wife Gloria were at home on Tuesday when they heard the doorbell ring. At the door, a deputy
Said, you folks got to get out of here now, right now.
The Bear Trap 2 fire jumped the river and was on its way to their house.
And I said, well, how much time have I got? And he says, none.
That's when Paul and Gloria grabbed their dogs, got in a car, and got away.
And it was pulling out. The flames were coming up the driveway. Drove right through the flames out.
As Paul looks over the ashes of his home, he's thankful.
And if it weren't for that policeman, we'd still part of that ashes right there. We got on with our lives. Ask for much more than that, I guess.
Paul and Gloria say they're also thankful to their community.
And I would love to thank everybody for all the love and support and their generosity that they have shown us.
Gloria and Paul did have insurance. They tell me they plan to build again on this same spot along Highway 84 east of Norris. I'm Judy Slate.
Your bitter curses echo down your head.
3 Westboro Church members, including an 11-year-old boy, singing songs saying our nation is doomed because we support a gay lifestyle.
You married a man with a man, God's wrath you'll see.
He likes to come, he loves these words, and this is our family, this is what we do.
Shirley Phelps, the daughter of the church founder, told me lava from Yellowstone will kill us all, a message most people came here to protest.
Because I have 2 sons, ages 7 and 3, and I don't want them to grow up in a world of hate and unacceptance.
Because they're a hateful group and we don't believe in hate.
We believe that the Westboro group has a message of hate, and we want everybody to know that Jesus loves everybody.
Police stand between the Westboro trio and the counter-protesters who are urged to stay in control.
If you try to incite them or fight them, they will sue you and they will make money off of it.
We can't hear you! We can't hear you!
MSU police estimates the crowd in the thousands.
Go back to Kansas!
After MSU, the Westboro protesters came here to Bozeman High School, where they were met by more counter-protesters.
Folks have a freedom of speech right, and the sidewalk here in front of the high school is a public right-of-way.
At the high school, the protest is a bit calmer, blockades keeping the crowd back. But the passion of the counter-protesters remains.
This is monstrous, and for them to do it at a high school, that's absolutely absurd. They can teach their kids what they want, but don't they dare touch our community's kids. Like, no.
We love gay rights!
In Bozeman, Judy Slate, MTN News.
There were smoke alarms, and I walked back outside, and it was huge.
Chrissy Saoirse DeBoer was home when the fire broke out. She lives right below where firefighters believe the fire started.
I ran back inside and grabbed my dog and my keys and my husband and went back outside.
Chrissy and all the other people who live in this 8-unit complex made it out safely.
I'm just glad everybody's okay. The neighbors went around knocking on all the doors and making sure that, everybody was out, and so everybody was.
Shortly after 6 p.m., huge flames could be seen shooting out of the roof. Firefighters say the fire moved quickly. Joe Katowski, one of the first on the scene.
Well, we first arrived, and it definitely looked like it kind of started on the exterior of the building or the complex, and it got into the attic space. And then once it got into the attic, it really took off, and it had a little bit of a struggle getting it under control initially.
Looking at this building now, it's hard to imagine that anything good can come out of it, but there is a silver lining.
I walked up the ladder, went into the building, and the dog was in the kennel.
Here you can see Sertich carrying Sis from the burning building.
The dog was a little frightened. I had to give the dog a good hug to control the dog, but was probably happy to see us every match.
So she probably sat through the whole fire in her kennel, and unfortunately she hasn't had a lot of good things happen to her in her life, so just tacking one more thing on, we rescued her from Eastern Oregon, where a rancher was beating her.
The building has extensive fire and water damage, but the people who call this place home know it could have been much worse.
As long as everybody's okay, that's what's important. Things can be replaced, people can't be.
In Bozeman, with photographer Ben Trotter, I'm Judy Slate for Montana's News Station.